Welcome to Nappicast.com and Jason Nappy Weather, recapping that snowstorm here down East Maine, Washington County, 6, 7, 8 inches of snow. And now you've got that cold air coming in from the north and the west. So it's really going to get a lot colder. Things are really going to start changing drastically now with that cold air coming in. Let's take a look at the snow reports. So a good helping here from West Virginia, southeastern Pennsylvania towards Philadelphia, northwestern portion there of New Jersey, New York City. You got several inches of snow here. 12 to 18 back West Virginia mountains. A good 6 to 8 around Harrisburg. 8 to 12 Harrisburg. And then towards New York City, Montville, New Jersey, 5 inches. Elizabeth, about 3.7. Up towards Boston, Hartford, Massachusetts, a good 4, 5, 6 inches. And then up in Maine, a good 4 to 8 inch stripe here. You see about 6, 7 inches or so, 6.4 Portland to Jetport. Heading over towards Penobscot Bay, you've got Brooklyn, Maine, at 7.5. And still kind of wrapping up around Pembroke. By the way, really good pizza up at Pembroke there at the old school pizza bus. So here's the storm with all that snow. A good swath, not a nor'easter. This is just a coastal storm and not a coastal hugger either. Just basically a basic kind of riding across the boundary here. Storm, low pressure that came across that boundary. The cold air came down from the north, and as it did so, it really cooled things off quite a bit. And it was just in time to get that cold air to really cool things off, or else it would have been a mostly rain event. So the snow is gone, and now winter storm warnings are ending in the northeast. So here are the winter storm warnings starting to expire pretty soon up in Maine, eastern Maine, up in the county, winter weather advisories. Same thing, West Virginia mountains. But really, all eyes kind of focus now on what's happening down on the Gulf Coast. Yes, not the Mid-South, the Gulf Coast. You've got winter storm warnings up, good chunk of Texas, all of Louisiana, basically south of northern Louisiana, back towards Alabama, Mississippi, and even the Florida Panhandle. So it is going to get messy, cold, snowy, icy. Let's take a look at it now on the water vapor satellite picture. So here we go. You've got all this dry air that's going to eventually just continue to pour down from the north. And you've got this subtropical jet stream, all this moisture riding along the south. You got dry air in place right now in a place like obviously in Texas and Louisiana. But eventually you're going to get just a rip, a little wave in the weather highway of low pressure is going to kind of just pull up here, and it's going to run into all that cold air. And as it does so, we're going to have problems, right? Big time problems. So look at the forecast now. This is Monday afternoon. You see that high coming in right here from the north. Big area of high pressure, almost a 1050 high. So that's a monster area of high pressure coming in. A lot of cold air is going to just drain down south of that. And as it does so, I'll put things into motion just a bit here. We'll push it out to, let's go Tuesday morning. Let's go tonight into Tuesday morning. It's the beginning of the storm. And once the storm gets going, here's your high, just reinforcing. You got all kinds of high pressure pouring that cold air down. And here's your storm forming with that mixture for Texas. And this is South Texas. This is down towards Houston, back towards Lake Charles, Louisiana here in Lafayette. And all of that moisture that I just showed you is going to start streaming up over here, right over that cold air. So that cold air is going to be in place. So I'll put the map into motion now. We'll go into Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, midday afternoon, and watch that moisture go along that boundary. So along the Gulf Coast and the southeast, you are going to have big problems here. This is frozen precip, and I'm going to get into that in more detail, all the way up to North Carolina and Virginia. But this storm goes off the coast. It doesn't go up into New England. So it is going to not be a full-on, like a Miller A nor'easter. It's going to go off the coast, and it's going to be gone. But it's going to go along the Gulf Coast, and there are going to be big issues here. So look at the European model here and take things out just a bit. And notice here as the storm tracks right here along the Gulf Coast, watch this. There it goes, and then boom, right off the southeast, Georgia, Carolina. Now, that high pressure, that cold air is going to suppress the storm just a little bit, and then clear it out of here, and then things really quiet down after that. So let's look at the forecast model snowfall amount from the National Weather Service. So they're going to go fairly conservative. Now, for the south, 3 to 5, 6 inches of snow is a lot of snow. They don't have the ability to clear this amount of snow. But Louisiana is the jackpot for this storm. There's going to be some mixing that goes on. By the way, can we also mention here the Great Lakes with that cold air? I mean, it is going to be another. The Great Lakes have gotten more snow this winter than any spot across the country here. But you see this here, the Great Lakes. We're going to have cold air, right, going over those lakes that are not frozen. So Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, Lake Superior, Lake Michigan. So you're going to have all that cold air, and it is just going to pour over the Great Lakes. And the Great Lakes not being frozen, you're going to have massive amount of lake effect snow. So upstate New York, you're going to get hit again. Buffalo, New York, Western New York, Niagara Falls. So watch out very closely here as that. But also down in the south, you're going to have snow. So Lake Charles, Louisiana, Lafayette, New Orleans, a good chunk, down to the boot, almost down right off the coast there of Mobile and Mississippi, back towards, obviously, Georgia, Carolina. But this storm is going to have a little bit less as you head east if it tracks along the Gulf Coast and heads south. So take a look at that now in more detail. I'm going to bring up the European model and show you the reason for this. So you've got the moisture, but you need the cold. And watch this cold air. This is the polar vortex from Siberia. Just pour that cold air down to the south. And here it is. You get this monster area of high pressure that's in control. And that's just going to pour that cold air down just in time to give that snowstorm for the Gulf Coast and the southeast. And there it is, just pouring in from the north. And that polar vortex is here for a few days. It's going to be bitterly cold. And the snow that's fallen and that will fall is going to be around for a little while until, obviously, that sun comes out along the Gulf Coast. But, yeah, so that's the polar vortex from Siberia. Look at the temperatures here. This is not the wind chill. This is just the air temperature, and this is valid at Monday at 4 o'clock. So New York City, 26, Charlotte, 34, Houston, 41. Watch what happens here. Watch these temperatures start to drop into Tuesday morning. Houston gets down below freezing. Charlotte's 18, New York City, 14. And the bulk of the cold air, though the really cold stuff, is up in the upper Midwest. I mean, this is where it's really cold. I'm going to go ahead and show you how cold it's going to be there. Let's go ahead and fly in and show our friends up here in the high plains, upper Midwest. This is not the wind chill, okay? This is negative 18 in Duluth, negative 16 in Fargo. This is just the actual air temperature in Minneapolis. So that shows you just how cold it's going to be. This is Tuesday morning. And then eventually, that polar vortex slides east a bit and things do warm up. So look, Los Angeles gets up to 64. New York City's 28. So temperatures are going to warm up, but it's going to take some time. So here on the model viewer, I want to show you back down and focus on the Gulf Coast and show you that storm coming in. So here's a look at the high resolution stuff. Now, high resolution computer modeling is not more accurate. It just looks prettier, but it's not more accurate. So I want to caution you with that. It does look a lot nicer and cleaner, but does not raise the accuracy. So you're starting off in Lake Charles as rain, and then the cold air pulls in to New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and then you're changing to all snow. This is all snow right now in New Orleans, in Lake Charles. I mean, this is all the way down Lafayette, right in between. You're going down Interstate 10. That is all snow. This is Tuesday. This is during the day. It's 11 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, where it is just flat out snowing because the cold air has poured down from the north. And because of that, you've got top of the atmosphere down to the ground level. You have got snow at that point. So we'll take a look now. Let's go to Texas, for example, where you see this mix going on. That's where you've got that warm nose right here, the warm nose of air coming in up around 700, 800 millibars in the atmosphere. So you're talking about it's cold, below freezing, and then you've got your warm nose, so that's obviously going to melt that snow, and then you get down to ground level, so then go ahead there, and it's back towards below freezing 31. So you've got your mix going on in a place like Texas. But if you go to Louisiana at this time, it's a different story. You're going to have from top to bottom, let's go to around Lafayette, for example. From top to bottom, you've got snow. Here, the warm nose, nope, not happening, right? You're below 32 all the way up. So here's your 0 line all the way up. You are below 32. This is all snow in Lafayette, Louisiana. Okay, this is Tuesday morning, late in the morning, right? So 11 o'clock in the morning or so. And you're going to have snow. You're going to have snowflakes. And they're going to accumulate too, because what happens is you have the cold air, but you've got the snowflakes, right? So cold air is pouring in top to bottom, but the snowflakes pull that cold air down to the ground level. And because of that, you're going to have snow in Louisiana. Yes, it is going to happen. Inches of snow will accumulate. So that's why the National Weather Service has that 2 to 4, 3 to 6. You're not going to get a foot of snow in Louisiana, but 3 to 6 inches is basically like 3 to 6 feet for a place that does not really deal with snow. They normally deal with hurricanes. So it is going to be quite the storm. Thank you for watching Jason Nappy Weather. Have a great rest of your day, and I will make sure you're following along on Nappicast.com and JasonNappyWeather.com.